All right, so this is my case study on the planned change process. And to give a little background, the client, Deb, is a 30-year-old woman who was recently released from the Montana State Hospital. Her mom recently passed away, and she just moved in with her dad, Glenn. She has extremely high anxiety, and she was also recently diagnosed bipolar. So we're going to start with phase one. And I started with the professional perspective. I did this because I'm Deb's case manager, and this kind of helps me link Deb to the resources she needs. She currently doesn't have a source of income, healthcare, she needs resources for food, and so with this I can kind of help connect her with SSI for a disability income, the Office of Public Assistance to receive Medicaid and SNAP benefits, and kind of move forward with those basic resources that she needs. Secondly, I chose the strengths perspective. I like to focus on Deb's strengths. She's a very highly motivated young woman with a lot of goals that she has set, and we're going to follow her treatment plan to achieve those goals. And lastly, I use the ecosystem perspective, and I did this because one of the hardest things Deb has to deal with is her anxiety and how she gets extremely overwhelmed, and that's one of the things she wants to kind of work through and move forward with. So using this phase one of engagement, it's really important for me also to use those following skills and to be very supportive and be able to monitor her, have that empathy and active listening, and really help her engage, and also have me engage in her treatment to help her to the best of my ability. And so that's where we are with phase one. We're going to move on to phase two, which is assessment. And I started with the behavioral theory. It started here because Deb more or less has been conditioned to respond to peer pressure, and when responding to this peer pressure, she abuses drugs. And so she has that substance abuse, and we need to work through that. Next, I did the biopsychosocial theory, and I did this because Deb had a back injury a few years back, and this makes it really hard for Deb to find employment that her body can handle the physical demands. Then I went with chaos theory. I did this because up until this point, Deb was really unaware, maybe not that she had a mental disorder, but that it was classified as a SDMI, so severe disabling mental illness. And so a lot of things have really changed. She has to kind of observe things from a new perspective. Things that used to be really easy for her now give her really high anxiety. And it's just been a really drastic change for Deb's life, and she kind of has to start all over. And so this affects her moods and kind of her symptoms and the variances within that, and so I focused on that theory. Next, I did the conflict theory, and I chose this one because of Deb's family situation. They don't always see eye to eye. Although Deb is benefiting from living with her father, it's also difficult at times because they can butt heads. And Deb is also struggling with the fact that she took care of her mother up until she passed, and was her and her family were left with her mother's residence, and it was left in pretty rough shape. The house hasn't had water and has been kind of infested with black molds this last year, and her mom was also a hoarder, and so she just kind of kept everything. And so this is hard because going through that stuff is really emotional for Deb, and it also gives her anxiety. But she's expressed that she would like to donate a lot of items, but it's more or less going through and separating what she wants to keep and what she wants to donate, and then eventually being able to have the house ready and clean to where they can put it on a market and sell it. And so it's really hard for Deb to not have the support from her family. Her family kind of feels like it's a lost cause and would rather kind of just sell it as is and essentially get rid of the problem. But Deb has a very different feeling about that, and I'm hoping that being linked to one of our therapists through Western Montana, that she'll be able to set up a plan on how to work through that, and I'll be able to support her in that. Kind of along the same, I did the family systems theory, and it's just because of the situation with that lack of support with her mom's residence. It really impacts the individual relationships with her family. She kind of feels torn. She wants the support from her family, but she also wants to take care of kind of her mother's last wishes and stuff that she wasn't able to do because she was ill, and it's not her mom's fault, and it's not Deb's fault. And then I also did the genetics theory of human development. I did this because whether it's genetic or not, Deb's mom suffered a mental illness, and now Deb has bipolar, and we're working through that and working to get Deb stable and independent in the community again. And then this last one, I kind of linked a few together. I did the group dynamic theory, role theory, social behavioral theory, and the social exchange theory, and I lumped all these together because to me it